Los Angeles has always been a city of contrasts, glamour and struggle, dreams and despair. For years, homelessness was impossible to ignore, poverty visible beside immense wealth. Skid Row, once the epicenter of homelessness, now looks different. The tent cities have thinned, sidewalks are clearer, but a cleaner street doesn't mean the problem is solved. Where did everyone go? The city's soul is measured by how it treats its most vulnerable, not just by how clean its streets appear. Echo Park Lake was once a symbol of LA's homelessness crisis. Hundreds of tents, a community in plain sight. Today, the park is pristine green lawns, families picnicking, paddle boats gliding across the water. For visitors, it's a picture-perfect scene, as if the crisis never happened. But this transformation came after a massive, controversial sweep in 2021. The city cleared the encampment, offered shelter to some, and fenced off the park. Activists called the process traumatic. The city called it progress. Now tourists stroll without discomfort, unaware of the struggle that unfolded here. The park's beauty hides a complicated history. When we erase visible signs of crisis, we risk erasing empathy. Visitors may believe homelessness is solved, but the reality is more complex. The people who lived here didn't vanish. They were displaced, their stories continuing elsewhere. The clean park offers an illusion of progress. The silence is filled with unanswered questions. What happened to those who once called this place home? The park is quiet, but the crisis hasn't disappeared. The story is still unfolding, just out of sight. Each year, LA releases its homeless count, and this year the numbers finally dropped. The city reported a 9% decrease in homelessness, the first decline in a decade. Officials celebrated, pointing to new housing, outreach, and billions invested. Programs like Inside Safe were credited for moving people indoors. The narrative progress at last. A 9% drop means thousands are off the streets. For every 10 people homeless last year, one now has a roof. Leaders call it a victory, and for many, it is. Every person housed is a life changed. But numbers alone don't tell the whole story. The data gives a bird's-eye view, but the truth is on the ground. Behind every statistic is a person, a journey, a struggle. The city's investment is making a difference, but the crisis is far from over. Progress is real, but so are the gaps. The story is more than numbers, it's about lives in transition. Counting the homeless is an imperfect science. Volunteers fan out for 3 nights, tallying tents and people in a city that hides its most vulnerable. The count relies on what's visible. Those who hide or are pushed to the fringes are easily missed. A lower number might mean fewer visible homeless, not fewer homeless overall. Definitions change too. Who counts as homeless? Someone couch surfing? Living in a motel? Small tweaks in rules can shift the final tally. This year, critics point to aggressive encampment sweeps. When areas are cleared, people move. Sometimes out of sight, sometimes out of the count. The census is a snapshot, not a full picture. The reality is always more complicated than the numbers suggest. People don't disappear. They relocate, often to places where they're harder to find. The count is necessary, but always incomplete. The real crisis can't be measured in a single night. Statistics become real when you meet the people behind them. Marcus lived in a tent near Venice for 5 years. Cold nights, fear, and invisibility. 6 months ago, an outreach worker offered him a motel room through Inside Safe. Now, he has a key, a shower, and hope. He's rebuilding his life, proof that the city's programs can work. But not everyone's story ends this way. Maria, once part of a Hollywood encampment, refused a crowded shelter where she couldn't bring her dog. Now she's isolated, moving from place to place, feeling more invisible than ever. For her, the city didn't solve the problem, it just moved it. Cleaned up streets don't always mean better lives. Many are pushed further from services, community, and hope. The numbers don't capture these stories. Progress is real for some, but others are left behind. The human cost of a cleaner city is often hidden. Every person's journey is different. The crisis is as much about survival as it is about shelter. The real story is found in these lives, not just in the data. For small business owners, the changes are dramatic. Elena, who runs a downtown cafe, remembers the daily stress. Encampments at her door, customers feeling unsafe. Now her sidewalk is clear, business is up, and regulars are returning. She hopes those displaced found housing, but she's relieved to focus on her livelihood again. Many residents and business owners share this sense of restored order. For them, cleaner streets mean a return to normalcy. Tourists notice too. Families from out of state feel safer, enjoy their visit, and see a city transformed. A safer, cleaner city boosts tourism and local pride. But comfort can breed complacency. When the problem is out of sight, it's easy to forget. The quiet streets can quiet our conscience. The challenge balance safe public spaces with compassion for those displaced. Progress for some shouldn't mean invisibility for others. The city's work isn't done when the sidewalks are clear. True success means caring for everyone, not just appearances. The story continues beyond the storefronts. So, where did everyone go? Some, like Marcus, found housing through city programs. Real progress, real lives changed. But many were scattered by encampment sweeps, pushed into industrial zones, canyons, or neighboring cities. Some left LA entirely, seeking relief elsewhere. Others are hidden, couch surfing, living in cars, or staying in motels, just one setback from the streets. These people aren't counted, but their struggles are real. The official numbers understate the true scale of housing insecurity. LA's cleaner streets tell a divided story, genuine success and painful displacement. We can celebrate progress, but we can't ignore those pushed further into the margins. The real story isn't just about where people went, but whether we still care enough to find them. Clean sidewalks are only the beginning. The work is far from over. The city's heart is measured by its compassion, not just its appearance. The question remains, will we keep looking for those left behind,